I'll now show you how to use SQL Server scripts in your installation. It's pretty straightforward. I've made a copy of the MegaView 1.0 project, and this is the administrator version, and I've renamed it to be MegaView 1.0 SQL Server. I've also modified the MegaView application to use the view database feature. The first thing we have to do is add SQL Server scripts to the installation program. So I'll go to the SQL scripts view, and we need to create a connection. So you right click, select New SQL Connection, and there it is. Now after you have the connection, you add the scripts. So we're going to insert script files. I have them in this folder underneath MegaView 1.0 SQL Server. We're going to add all 4 of these. You should know that the order of the scripts in this view is important. You want the first one to be executed at the top of the list and the last one to be executed at the bottom. So first we want to create the database. We want to create the customer table. Then we want to insert customer data. And then we will drop it, but not all together. These first 3 are going to be done during an install. This will be done during an uninstall. So let's go back up here. The first thing to do is to assign it to the view database feature. All these scripts belong to the view database feature. Let's go to the Runtime tab for each script. Here it says Run Script During Install. Yes. This one we want to run during the install. This one we want to run during the install. This one we want to run during the uninstall. So let's go back to the general view and check this one more time. They all belong to the view database feature. That's good. Now let's go to the setup design view. You'll notice here that if we go to the view database feature, that 4 components were added to this feature, 1 for each of the scripts. So that is just what we wanted. We have the create customer database, create customer table, insert customer data, and drop customer database. Now it doesn't matter what order the components are in the feature. It only matters what order the scripts are in the SQL scripts view. Let's go to the custom actions and sequences view and look at the UI sequence. We have license agreement, customer information, destination folder, SQL login. We see that InstallShield automatically added a SQL dialog to the sequence, so we will be expecting to see this during the installation. Now we can build and test this. Alright, I'm going to minimize this. It's not currently installed. Just checking. I'm going to install this on my XP development machine because that's where SQL Server is installed. Before I actually run the full install, I'm going to bring up SQL Server Management Studio. We're going to connect to the SQL Server 2005 database. and look at the databases. We see that the customer database is not present in the list, so let's minimize this. Now we'll go through the pages in the installer. Destination folder. Now here's the SQL login dialog. We need to indicate the database server that we will be installing to. And we're going to install to SQL Server 2005. You see that InstallShield populates this dialog with the SQL Server instances that are installed on the machine you're running on. And we're using Windows Authentication. That was what we were using by default in the SQL scripts view. So let's click Next. We'll put a shortcut on the desktop so we can see that it's installed. We'll just do the complete install. I'm going to launch MegaView, but before we look at the View Database feature, I'm going to show you in SQL Server Management Studio. I'll do a refresh, and the customer database has been installed, and we have the customer table. The installation did create the database. Now we'll run the View Database feature. And this data grid view displays the data in the database. Not much data, but enough to illustrate this example. Let's close MegaView. And now we will uninstall the program. We'll do it from the interface here, the IDE. Much easier than going to add to remove programs. The MegaView icon is gone, so the software is gone. Let's check the database list and make sure that the customer database is no longer there. And it is gone. So that is an example of how to run SQL Server scripts from an installation. Just remember that the order of the scripts in this view is important. And we'll move on.